All right, guys, story number 6 out of 11 that I can think of, and may eventually get to the last couple. The last one I actually told about the method eyeing me, so that one got out of order. But as I said in the previous one, start paying attention to how many are 1, how many are 2, how many are 5, how many you might want would-be attackers, robbers, etc. Something to think of. These are real-world stories, and if I babble, it's hard to go through the memory and the events, and they are traumatic. No matter how skilled you think you may be, and even though I'm more skilled than most. So I kind of, in the earlier ones, maybe pay attention to like the area I'm in, where I'm like, I'm just a little outside where it's really bad, but still kind of bad, but just outside where it's like really bad. And so just like literally down the street from where the gas station was, half mile further, there is an IHOP restaurant where I used to film out back my 52 block series with my homie Big Henry, 6 foot, what is he, 6'5", 250, 265. Big Henry, shout out to you. Well, Big Henry, a little bit down, and actually closer to the gas station, there was kind of like a hidden apartment complex. You drive down, big old apartment complex. Let's call it what it is, the hood. If I use another word, people will freak out. It's not like that matters. There's been hoods around the world with all kinds of whatever term you want to give it. He's doing the best he can. He's got his girl. They got a kid. Doing the best they can. Just like a ton of Americans, right? So, unfortunately, that area, it's always like, oh, it's not like you just have your shirt draping over your belt with your pistol appendix. It's like my shirt is now over it just when you're going down there. Because I would pick them up and I would take them out and film and eat and drop them back off. And they're like a lot of drug dealers, different gangs, right? I mean, you saw them. I mean, there were some good families there in the crossfire of these gang members with a lookout out there. You know, I'm dropping them off, and I'm really worried about behind me that they don't run up. So it's constant mirror checks. So I'm waiting to pick them up, drop them off, that kind of thing. Luckily, he kind of, I mean, I was cued into that kind of stuff, but he let me know, like, luckily he had kind of said, like, oh, there's also like this crazy guy, older OG guy, that walks around with an AK pistol, and so they don't fuck with him. So I think he was rolling solo. Maybe younger gang member became an older OG kind of thing, and he's just living there, and he's knowing how to keep these young guys from fucking jacking him. So anyway, I drop him off, and like, you know, I got a couple whistles. Let's say I lack the tan that maybe, you know, I stood out. A couple times I think I might have heard 5-0, like they're thinking I'm a cop undercover. I get that a lot. Hey, you look like the undercover cop. I've gotten that back in high school where they thought I was 21 friggin' Jump Street. Watching too much television. Anyway, I start to leave. It's dark. I turn around the corner, start going up, and then I see a woman running across in front of me. Fuck. See him with AK pistol, and he walks in front of my car. Like, he's a good little bit up ahead. In front of my car, there's only one entrance and one exit. This is important to the story, so you don't get know-it-alls down below. You should have done this. You should have done that. But he stops in the middle of the street. I'm like, oh, woman. I'm very protective of women. I'm like, man, maybe this is like, it's bad situations to get in. Maybe this is domestic. I got to make sure he ain't going after her to shoot her, or stab her, or kill her, or whatever, right? So, like, I get my window down a little bit. Anyway, I'm trying to listen. I lower it down a little bit. I put the car in reverse. I slowly start backing up. But I'm trying to hear her to make sure she's safe. Because, yeah, he's got an AK pistol, but I'm also a protector, even for strangers. And yes, I know the woman will stab you in the back sometimes after you pulled the man off from stabbing them. I know it. But, and it can go woman to man very much as well. But he's still, like, standing on the street. He kind of nods at me, and I kind of nod at him, and I'm kind of in the dark. I'm like, I'm like, trying to stay in kind of the shadow a bit. You know, I'm like, oh, I don't know if he's... Now he starts to slowly back up, and he's keeping an eye on me. I think he yelled something at her. Like, they're obviously having a domestic, but I don't think he's, like, running after her to shoot her at this point. I'm like, okay, that's good. AK pistol. Literally. Undergun. Got a 9mm on my waistband. Appendix. Luckily, I always put it on after we were done doing the martial art thing and put that on. He said, what do you, 5-0? Or he said, for show? Like showing off? Something like that. 5-0, faux, show, for sure. Something. I was worried. So I stopped. I'm just sitting like I backed up a good bit of distance. If this guy lights me up, I'm throwing the car in reverse. At least fucking J-turning it, getting behind, getting out and fucking pistol for his AK pistol. At least give me, 30, 35 yards to work with here and I can get behind the engine block. But I don't know if he's yelling out 5-0. Like, now I got to scan, make sure others aren't coming out to jack me. Again, this is the time that if they think you're a cop or even a security guard, you got a friggin' uniform on. They were assassinating people. He was telling me to go through. So, fuck it. So, I pull my best, what movie, a couple movies I'm thinking of. I'm rolling LA Cop. Style, the LA Cop movie where they talk to the OG and the OG's out and the two cops are like trying to give them a heads up and get some information from them, or maybe it was also Denzel in Training Day. Yeah, so if you don't get what I'm saying, maybe I was under the door and I'm just driving by slow and ready to fucking hit the gas and go pop if he fucking raises that pistol at me. So there's the time my escape and evasion, since it's only one entrance to this huge complex and only one exit and nowhere else to go. And then there literally was like drug gangs that were obviously 5, 6, 7 at all times that lived there. Even a retreat might go from the hot pan into the frying pan. I don't know, whatever the saying is. You get it? So even though this one was only there's one potentially AK pistol. Yeah. Another time where I'm like, I do like pistols that at least have 13 rounds on board. God forbid I got to shoot it out with a dude with an AK pistol, whatever. A lot of them roll around with AK, little Dracos, and AR pistols and that kind of thing. So that is my time. I faced down with a dude with an AK pistol. That's the story. I think he was chasing after her. Probably just to beat her ass and drag her back in the house. Who knows? But I got the sense he wasn't chasing her enough to kill her. He was like, get back in here. And he stopped chasing her. So, maybe, I did what I could and a higher force or God or whatever you want to say was interfering, putting me there to help maybe break up the immediacy of her being chased. And at least he backed off, a bit. It probably chilled him out a bit, knowing he might have to deal with me in a second. I mean, I got a car, I think with the angle, he might not have been able to see who I was, whatever. So, there's my story about facing down a dude with an AK. That is my 6 of 11 stories I've written down, and even the one story I've hinted at when I was 18 with a screaming woman in an apartment complex that I've never really told. So, I mean, times I've needed a gun, there's been many. And what you can learn from it is, when you can, don't live in the hood, but not everyone can do that. Or you might have friends that live a half mile down where it's a little shadier than the half mile where I lived, and I don't want to not hang out with my buddy Big Henry and film my 52 blocks skull and bones at UFC Atlanta, yelling down to Joe Rogan that Max Holloway was saying Poirier was blocking funny. Yeah, he said that between the third round. And I'm like yelling out to Joe, who I used to train with, 52 blocks, 52 skull and bones. Anyway, guys, look at my 52 blocks series. Get my competitive street jiu-jitsu instructional on BJJ Fanatics. Have winners, keep yourself safe. Try not to face off with dudes with AK pistols. And stay strapped or get clapped. Always follow your ABCs. Always be carrying EDC. Every day carry.